Hello everyone, welcome to the February 19th, 2024 edition of 3 for 3 with Sun City Capital, Upswing Trading, and Day Trader Weekly. Happy to be giving my contributions now to Day Trader Weekly, a great up-and-coming publication that's doing wonders for traders everywhere. Happy that helping traders do better and trying to get information out there faster, trying to get the right data out there, and trying to teach people to do things properly when it comes to investing and trading. So our 3 for 3 today, I've got three whole list of them for this week, including we're going to talk about NVIDIA, big earnings coming on Wednesday. That's going to be ridiculous. I have multiple opinions about what I think is going to happen with that and the entire semiconductor sector as a whole, but we'll get back to that. First things first, these three stocks that you see on the screen here, ROKU, DPX, Dropbox, and Bloom Energy, all had earnings this past week. All of them dropped on earnings pretty significantly. 2 out of 3 of these, I'm 100% short. Bloom Energy, I'm pretty much ready to pull trigger on a short. I'm going to wait on some action on all 3 of these tomorrow morning. We'll see how the market kind of comes together in the morning, and I'll get to that. Real quick, for those of you that are tuning into me for the first time, I'm a technical swing trader. I run a fund called Sun City Capital out of Florida. I have an office in New Jersey as well, which is where I am now, where I have 2 trading offices, and this is what I do. For the most part, I'm a short-term trader. I like to swing trade on weekly and monthly options plays. That's primarily what I do. I do some intraday. I do some long-term stuff as well. It all works off the same algorithms that I've spent years building that are very successful, that work very well for me, and I have a lot of other videos explaining how my algorithms work and how you can use them for free and kind of set up your own strategy. I don't charge anybody anything for advice. I do this out of the goodness of my heart to help people trade because I'm very fortunate to be in the position I am, that I can trade for a living and run a fund. And I got here a lot just like you guys, just started out trading and loved it and decided I wanted to do it for a living and worked really hard for many, many years to master it to the best of my ability, to constantly become better and to have strategies that work and actually make money, regardless of manipulation and all the other things out there that traders are affected by. I like to follow the money, and I built my system around that concept. So, without further ado, let's go into ROKU and DPX, which are my 2 here that I really like for a short. These both actually had positive earnings, as we see. So we'll pull up Dropbox real quick. They had a beat on both earnings and revenue. And ROKU as well also had a beat on earnings and revenue. Bloom Energy came up short on earnings and revenue. All 3, however, have dropped. Now, most earnings plays from this past week were drops. Most of it, and a lot of it is due to the market. We had some CPI, PPI numbers come out this week that were not good, kind of pushing out the whole idea that interest rates are going to start dropping in March. Not looking that way now. The data does not support it. And I think because of that, because of the overinflation in January just came out of the gates blasting, market flew, and I think now because of this data, things are going to kind of soften up a little bit, flatten out. I don't think there's going to be a significant pullback yet, but there is a softening, and you're going to see Russells, a lot of Russells and a lot of NASDAQ and a lot of techs, a lot of them really starts pulling back as this money comes out of the market, with kind of things cooling down for a little bit. So that is most likely the reason for all 3 of these dropping. I mean, Bloom Energy didn't have great earnings, but ROKU and Dropbox both did. So they should have both been in position. If you look at their charts, as a total, they weren't super overbought. So really, in all reality, it just kind of went with the market this week. Now, my dailies, so how I typically trade is when I run through the market, I run through hundreds of stocks constantly on a daily basis to see where their signals are. I'm going to start out mostly on the dailies, sometimes on the weeklies, but in this case, we're going to look at the dailies. I'm showing double reds on all 3 of these, which is obviously a great sign for things to come as far as shorting is concerned. It looks like the shorting has just kind of begun. There's not going to be any significant pullback up to the upside just yet. They're going to run flat to down. So there's an opportunity on the short term here to pick up some money playing puts on these over the next couple of days, possibly weeks. My typical weekly plays are weekly. So I trade weekly options. Usually I buy them 30 days out. In some cases 15, but usually I'm buying them 30 days out. It is a safe play in my case because the way I work with my algos, it's the safest way for me to trade. So I have my targets, I have my entry points, but in the occasion that they don't pan out because I'm buying out 30 days, chances are very good that I'm still going to reach my target or close to break even. Given my strategy. So it's very safe on my part. I don't need to have a 90% win-loss ratio to be successful. Most of my trades end up winning. And that's just a system that I've built over here. Everyone has a different strategy. It's how I do it. So on these, in this case of these stocks, I run through these types of signals every week where I'm showing this setup, and they will pan out. I'm going to, these stocks are all going to hit lower numbers. There's no doubt about it. How low is the question. How far I'm going to push it is always really the struggle in success, is how far do you want to push your profitability, and that can be an issue, especially when you're shorting in these cases. When you're hitting bottoms, you want to be very careful. You do want to take profits when you get them. If I, for example, enter puts, and I get my hourly signals, which I will get to in a minute, I'm going to want to be very careful about pulling profit. Let's say we lose $2 our first day. Most likely I'm going to be closing out some positions or taking half off, early on, because again, these are inbounceable positions. The market is in a volatile state right now, so you want to be careful on the short side. If we're going long, it's a little bit looser, but going short, I'm always a little bit more careful. But I am going to be going short on these. So now, on the dailies, we're showing double reds. I'm going to switch to my 4-hour, which is the second part of my heavy analysis. I'll call it heavy analysis because this is what I'm doing. I'm looking for signals. I'm running through stocks. I'm looking for them to match up double reds on the 4-hour and the 1-hour. So I have that on all three. So as far as they're concerned, these are all ready to be shorted. So what I will do is these are not ready to be positions taken. And in a lot of cases, if I were to just go ahead and buy puts on these right now, if I could, for example, a lot of these might move up tomorrow, and they'll most likely end up where I want them to be. But there's no reason to take early entry. You want to be taking entry at the right time. So you always want to take entries on your lower time frame. So no matter how you're trading, if you're trading weeklies and you're trading long term, or if you're day trading and you're trading off the 30-minute time frames and 15s and hourlies and 5s, you always want to be taking your positions off the lower time frame. And this is one thing I've learned that's sustained me over the years, is you want to pick your spots on the lower time frame. So you're building your overall trend and your strategy on a higher time frame. You're taking positions on the lower ones, and in some cases you're also getting out of positions on a lower time frame. So let's say I'm taking my positions on the 30, I might be entering and exiting on the 15 on those signals, because it's going to show a more sensitive signal on the shorter time frame. And that's typically how I trade, and that's how I'll stay in position. So if I'm on a buy signal on a 30 and I'm trading on the 5, or if I'm taking my position on the 5, I will continue to trade on a 30 until the 5 crosses a certain level, and that's where I will exit. And it's the same kind of thing here. So I've got my daily 4-hour. I'm going to be taking my positions on the 1-hour. So when I do swing trades, I take my positions on the 1-hour. I build my setups on the dailies and the 4-hour, and then I'll go ahead and pull up the hourlies, and we're going to see identical situations here, which I like to see, because I like to see similar patterns on similar stocks, because it's constantly showing how it works. So all of these are kind of showing almost the same exact type of thing. They dropped, and then they pulled back a little bit on Friday. Well, Roku and Dropbox and the Bloom Energy pulled back a little bit on Friday, But all three pulled back enough to give me another green here. I want a double red in order to go short, and this represents MACD, RSI, and stochastic kind of all in one. I kind of built an indicator. I built these indicators are basically like 30 indicators built into one. I took all the most important factors that I see in trading, and I mixed them all together in an easy to use color coded system that kind of just boom, boom, boom. It's all visual. It's easy for me to see, and it works. And again, I post free videos on how to use it. I don't charge for anything. I share my information completely for free. I want everyone to succeed. I do this out of the goodness of my heart. But in any case, here we are. And I'm going to be looking for double reds on the hourly. So I'm going to wait for the market to open tomorrow on these three. So we got ROKU, Dropbox, and Bloom Energy are my 3 for 3 right now. I may add more tomorrow. I usually do 3 for 3 every day. But as of right now, I've got these three. When I see these green lines here, which represent a MACD, it's part of the MACD. When I see those go negative on the hourly, and these turn red, I'll get a little red dot on 3 of them. That's when I will be taking my put entries on all 3 of these tomorrow. So I may not get those, and I may not take these positions, but that will be my final confirmation to enter on these strategies. And if I get them, I'm going to let them run out for as long as, typically my exit strategy is going to be the reverse position. So I will let them run double red, and then when I see a double green again, in most cases, that'll be, and sometimes I may go to a shorter time frame. So like, let's say I enter here on the hourly, I might drop down to the 45-minute or to 30, and if I see then a green come back, I may pull right out. It depends how much I've profited at that point. That all kind of goes into strategy, and that varies, but I do have a specific system that I work with. But in any case, from the technical side, to keep it simple, these three are all in a very heavy shorting scenario right now. A lot of, you go online on stock twits and, places you might find this video. You can see a lot of people talking about buying a dip. That is obviously a common strategy for beginners and even advanced traders. It's buy the dip, but in some cases, you don't want to buy the dip because the dip hasn't happened completely yet. And that's what I'm typically looking for when I'm trading, is I'm looking for opportunities like that. And I think on all 3 of these, given the situation, the overall condition of the market right now, the Russell, and, just kind of in general, the softening that we're kind of seeing starting to form, the flattening, I do from beyond the technical side, from the fundamental side, it makes sense that these are going to most likely continue to drop too. So I think ROKU, I have a target of 65. Dropbox, I have a target of 20. And on Bloom Energy, I would then go ahead and have kind of the $8.50, $8 range target. But again, we'll see how these form tomorrow. These are stocks you want to put on your watch list. So if you see these things starting to drop to the downside after the market opens tomorrow, and if we're seeing a red day, which I do believe we're going to see a red day tomorrow, constant, across the board, NVIDIA will pull back a little bit before their earnings. We saw that on Friday. I think we're going to see that again tomorrow and Tuesday. In many cases, our 3 for 3 ROKU, Dropbox, and Bloom Energy. Keep your eye on them. These are short positions I am going to be most likely taking this week. I have more to come. Again, I got a whole list, more videos to come. I hope you guys all enjoyed your day off. For those of you that are not working today, I am in the office for half day. I'm always working. I love this stuff. I love stocks more than anything in the world, and I hope you do too. But I'm here to help. Feel free to message me, comment, whatever. Be more than happy to help you out. Take care, everyone.